You ever see a Vietnamese Phin coffee brewer?
Oh, okay, so I've seen many different styles of Phin. What does someone need to know about what is a quality Phin?
With the Phin, it's Vietnamese filter. We have like this, and it's easier for the people, the customer, just put the coffee inside, and then they pour the water, and then we have the coffee. Yes, we can make it right now.
How much coffee do you put in the Phin?
20 grams.
A recipe for a Phin drink style.
Oh, okay.
I have a photograph of it, so it'll take me a second to find it, but I'll forward you that as well.
Oh, awesome. Now, what are you doing here?
I put the water here. You see that we have this one.
So that starts to pre-wet the bottom of the coffee?
That's it, yeah.
How much water was that?
It's 40 for the first one, for the plumbing, and then 40 more.
40 more?
Yeah.
It's like how it holds so much water. There's no blockage on the bottom, like a clever dripper. It's free flowing, but it takes that long to get through.
Normally, it's free pouring.
Actually, Lin brought for me for my Phin, but since you have more authority, she took the coffee that was supposed to be for me and she's making it for you.
Well, thank you very much, Lin. Thank you.
So which coffee is it? My coffee.
Is there a particular amount of time for the brewing?
Yeah, it's around 4 minutes.
Around 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's finished. Normally, in Vietnam, we use condensed milk or a little bit sugar. But now we want to try the original one, so you can see about the flavor of the coffee.
There's kind of a pungency. It's definitely a tighter, deeper, more rocking. This one's a little bit more of a typical, like we do expect from a barista, a little bit heavier, rougher, more brute force. Definitely the kind of coffee you do it with a Ca Phe Phin, making with the condensed milk and things like that. That would be really there to help offset that heaviness. World champion Anthony Douglas, what's up, Charlie? And then world champion Pete Licata and David Macon. It's just like we're all with like famous. I'm not famous, but these guys are famous.
Yeah, someone's famous here. I'm making a lovely wash geisha from Colombia, roasted by Veneziano coffee roasters in Melbourne, Australia. Part of our Pinnacle series. It is awesome. So I know you talked about this one before. I had some questions. Okay, so this dripper in particular comes with a mesh basket you can reuse, right? I use it at home all the time because I run out of paper filters. Right? I run out, and so I need something I can brew with this, and actually makes really tasty flavor. So you can use it 3 different ways standard. Use it just a paper filter like a V60. You can use it with this by itself. It's a flat bottom brew. You can use them together to clean up the sort of small amount of sediment you get from the reusable filter. Right?
I came by to see if you had any more of these for There you go. Perfect. All right. Wait.
The mesh is about 60 micron. It's not the smallest mesh we tried. It's actually a bit bigger so that the water could actually flow through it. In reality, like you get a little tiny bit of sediment that comes through, but it's pretty minimal. And you don't get a grit from it. It just has a little bit more texture to it. One of the ideas originally was to do a double filtration, right? So you can do a flat bottom extraction, filter it through the paper filter underneath, and get the best of both worlds, right? I feel like it's getting to the end of the show right now. It's all gone. Wow, that was fast. You're like, go. So with this one, because it's not touching the side, like you don't have any contact with the ceramic, you can use a really hot temperature, and it's actually good to use a really hot temperature for it because you'll kind of maximize your extraction without getting over extraction with it. If you have the ceramic, it gets too hot, your water is straight off the boil, it's going to end up tasting a bit over extracted and dry in the finish at different times. Do what you got to do. All right. So, reusable filter.
What's the coffee amount?
The amount that I'm using? 18 grams. 18 grams, we're going to do about 300 mils of water. This is a very popular booth at this time of the show, apparently. With a reusable filter like this, you don't want to wash the edge of the filter because you don't really want to get a bypass. You don't want to, because you'll get a massive bypass if you wash the reusable filter. So I usually just use a very steady pour. It's not too aggressive, not too turbulent, because I don't want to dislodge too many fines. I don't need more fines. It's actually a relatively slow flow of water through the filter. Just gonna get up to my 300 mils of weight of water and be good. Now, fun little secret on how to make the coffee bed flat. You ready?
Just that shake.
Yeah, thank you.
How long did it take you to figure this out?
I don't know.
So many.
A few times. But so like the water is like the coffee bed is popped up and it's got water through it, and so it's really fluid. So you just gotta jiggle it a little bit, and that's all it takes, right? You don't gotta pick it up and swirl it, do all the craziness, right? Just it'll flow through nice and steady. I'm shooting for 2.5 to 3 minutes on my extraction time to get full drawdown there, and then a little bit more water will be, or a little bit more coffee will be in the filter itself. Because I'm doing a double filtration here. So our main drawdown has finished, right? Our extraction drawdown is finished. I say the coffee bed is nice and flat. You got a little ring of coffee that's sitting on the edge because I didn't wash the exterior of the mesh, right? Which is just fine. Lock it out. You can just wipe that out with a towel and it's perfectly fine. Fun part with this is we've already done the extraction, so I'm not worried about anything with this little bit. So in reality, I can just kind of pull it together and just force the liquid through, because all I'm trying to do is separate the fines out of the liquid.
So why did you, when you were redoing this W60, why did you get this kind of like conical shape? This kind of bulbous shape.
Well, the designers wanted to emulate sort of a teacup shape, right? So they wanted to get something that was a little bit different than it's just a simple triangular cone shape. And we still wanted to use the V60 paper. So that's where we kind of came to, well, we can make it a little bit bigger. I also wanted the paper to fit flush, because one of my biggest pet peeves with any dripper is that the filter sits above the edge of the actual dripper. And it's just annoying to me more than anything.
Sample box.
Oh, cool. Oh, so yeah, they wanted to kind of make a bit more of a beautiful sort of aesthetic design to it. The ridges are a little bit deeper to hold the paper in there, but we needed to be big enough that you could fit the basket over the top to get on top of the paper filter as well. But that's pretty much it, right?
Oh, all right.
So you've got a flat extraction, filtered to remove the sediment, and tasty coffee. But the other, I said versatility before, right? So you can use it those three ways: paper filter, mesh filter, both. We also have the Kai Jansen Oily Bloom,
So sorry about that.
which is one that someone came up with. I wanted people to be able to experiment with it. So we already have one of the producers in Panama from Jansen Coffee.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
Good to see you. And it's nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you, man.
Hey, by the way,
see
really
you.
beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
The idea is that you can play with it, right? You can do different things with it. So he made an oily bloom, right? So you start with the mesh by itself, and you have, it takes a little bit of working with the different scales, or with the scale and some things to flip it. You start with just the mesh and you do the bloom, so all the liquid comes through and all the oils and everything comes out. But before it starts to really get any sediment that comes through, and before you start your main pouring, you swap it over to a paper filter and you do the rest through the paper filter. So you get all the oils at the beginning, and it ups the body, it ups the intensity. It's like actually really tasty, but super clean. It's a great way to do it. So that was kind of the idea, though. It's just like you can play with this multiple different ways. You can do a lot of different things with it, and I want people to experiment and find new ways to do stuff, or find their better way to take that it tastes the way that they like. because that's something I think that a lot of people don't do these days, is think outside the box a bit, and they rely too much on, hey, this is this person's recipe, as opposed to this is my recipe. You know, it's like make your own recipe, make your own path, because that's how I got to where I am. That's how you've gotten to where you are. It's just like, hey, I'm going to experiment with this. I'm going to try it. And
we have a new roaster up in Chehalis, a little rural town between Portland and Seattle. Nice Ethiopian. I have a decaf Colombian from a Portland roaster called Cascadia, and then Dancing Ghost Batter from Bronson is sponsoring our organic French. If you're looking for a more developed roast.
I prefer not French roast.
All right.
You've been drinking them.
If I'm drinking,
what do you
I'm going with the decaf because it's flavorful. I'm going to sleep tonight. It's been a long weekend, but it's been beautiful. So let's make something kind of more espresso-y.
Very good.
So we have that decaf already here, and you know, we don't need to weigh it necessarily because I know that scoop is tasting delicious. I'm gonna pop that in. And we're just gonna grind that up.
And then about what, 7 or?
With this, we're hitting about that's about 17 grams, 18 grams. Yeah. And then let's use the clear with the flow control.
Perfect.
Now I like a really clean cup of coffee, so I'm gonna use a paper filter and set that right in there, and that's gonna fit. It's gonna taste delicious. And just like the original, we lock right on. All set to go. And we can just like that. And then we're gonna.
Now, are you a barista at somewhere else, or?
So I was a trainer for years with Dancing Ghost Batter from Bronson. We're Shredder Roasters here in town. Okay. 2016 Aeropress champion, if that counts for anything.
Okay.
But I've left the coffee world and I work a desk job for the state. But I get to come here and play.
Better benefits that way.
I have a family and a mortgage. Yeah. But I'm helping people, so it's good. I'm just gonna add that in, and with that flow control cap, we're getting 0 drip through. So I could stop right here and I could make something kind of more espresso-esque.
Now, when you say make espresso-esque, can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so you know, you're never gonna be able to make a proper espresso as we know it today unless you're having, you know, a machine that hits that high pressure. You're hitting, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 bar. We're gonna get a couple bar out of the Aeropress, but you know, for something less than $100 versus, you know, multi-$1,000 espresso machine, I'm gonna put my money here. So, and if we also redefine espresso, let's go back to the origins, right? Something small, something fast, something that you can just get in, get out, hit it, have your flavors and caffeine, get back to work, right?
In US or in Japan?
So we're still gonna get just a nice, intense cup of coffee. It's gonna be viscous, it's gonna be full flavored. For people who want crema, we can still get some foam using the Aeropress attachment, and it's going to taste pretty rad.
All right.
If you took this, you could mix this up with some steamed milk. You'd have a nice little latte. You can make cortado, cappuccino, drop it on an affogato.
All right.
Yeah.
So now this new one, this clear one, what is the? It's not glass.
It's not glass. It's a special plastic called Triton.
Triton.
And it's just a throwback to the original clear Aeropress from 2005. Okay. So let's just get back to those early days. A little decaf for you.
Oh, very clean.
Yeah. That is more espresso-y.
It's much more espresso-y.
So that's just a ratio.
Yeah, nice and thick.
It's the ratio coffee water. That flow control holds everything together so you get that full extraction. And then, putting it through that paper filter. The filter's thin enough so you can still get the oils and the fine particles, but it also aerates a little more if you want that crema foam. Also, the stainless steel is just like a great option.
Have you tried that much?
Yeah, this is pretty solid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it so like typically when you're comparing paper to metal, there's always more sediment? Is that still true with this one?
With this one, yeah, but these are, so compared to other ones on the market, this one's gonna this has a lot smaller holes, so you get some sediment, but not quite as much as you might from like the Able disc, which I have that one. I use that at home. I use this one just as much. If I want a clean cup of coffee, I'm using 4 paper filters.
Oh wow!
That's like kind of my daily recipe.
Okay.
Yeah. And I crank this up a lot more coarse, and I give it a 3-minute steep.
3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. So then I get like that crystal clear, full flavor, light body.
So you're doing 3-minute steeps in an inverted method, is that right?
Standard.
Standard.
Without the flow cap,
because
though.
you've got the,
well, but you can also do it without the flow cap. So here's the kick. If I'm going to take the flow cap and we're going to put it on there, just a single paper filter. So we have one paper, lock that in, and then I'm just gonna take.
So I would say is a rich.
I'm just gonna put some water in here, and you know, once we start getting that drip through, we're losing that brew water. But when I have coffee in there, it's not so bad. And then I can take that plunger, get it in quickly, and it'll lift, and then we stop that drip. So on my daily recipe, that's what I'm doing.
Just getting it on there.
Just get it on there, yeah. And you know, if you got 4 paper filters, that's enough resistance. With coffee in there, that's enough resistance. It's not going to drip out. I might lose half an ounce to the drip through. Get that in there. Go feed the cats. Come back, press and plunge, and we're all happy. So then I'm just going to take this off. So got some water in there, and now it's dripping through again.
Okay. Oh, great technique.
Yeah, there's a little technique. But in the cafe setting, when technique, you got 20 things going on in the cafe, just grab that flow control cap and you're in, out, and easy. And
What's the price point of the flow control?
It's hitting right around 25. We have it online already. But that doesn't come with any filters, but that's okay because you already have your pack of paper. So.
And then how much are the metal filters?
That's a great question, and I don't know.
They haven't come out yet.
They're on the market. I just haven't got online to look around yet.
And then how about the clear?
The clear, those should be hitting launching in early May on the website, and they're coming just under $50.
Okay.
It is a little higher price point than the classic, but it's a nicer material, and I love it just for that aesthetic of the throwback to 2005, the original kind of retro, and you can really see what's going on.
Do you still have your originals?
I have one on set on my shelf.
Oh, nice.
I got like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But again, one of them is gold, so you know.
But you can now replace the plungers, I heard. Is that correct?
Dude, so this is out of everything we've seen, this is still my favorite advancement that we have. Is with the newer models, we have that really flexible silicone.
Right.
Normally, when I store my AeroPress, I want to make sure that we're not compressing because the rubber, that's going to form over time. This will still do it, but not as bad. Also, these are so much easier to clean. I run it under hot water in the sink, just give it a good wipe once a week, and then it goes, take it off, put it back on, piece of cake.
Now, can these be retrofitted to the older models?
Totally, 100%. Oh, it's exact same interface right up there.
Oh, okay, great.
So yeah, so if I wanted to go home and drink out of my BPA-filled original AeroPress, I'll just put this one onto it, and then we're good to go. But it just sits on the shelf.
Carcinogens in there.
Exactly, yeah.
Lin, how do you pronounce the Ca Phe Phin?
Ca Phe Phin.
How do you pronounce it?
Phin.
But how about Cafe Soda or?
Vietnam Cafe Soda.